All right, so get this. Imagine building like some really complex AI, the kind that could like power self-driving cars or
Mm.
predict market trends, but without writing a single line of code.
Yeah.
That's the promise of this company. Wordware. They're really making waves right now with this platform, and they say it's AI for everyone. And listen to this. They just got a massive $30 million seed round,
Wow.
one of Y Combinator's biggest ever. So clearly some pretty big names believe this could be a game changer.
Yeah, it's really interesting. What's intriguing about Wordware is that it's not just like another drag and drop no code tool.
Right.
They're aiming a lot higher. They're building what they call a full stack operating system for AI.
Oh, wow.
You can kind of think of it like the Microsoft Windows or Mac OS of AI development.
Okay, I can kind of picture that like an intuitive interface, but
Right.
how does that actually translate to building actual AI?
So Wordware lets users create these things called AI agents. And these agents are basically like digital workers that can perform tasks, process information, and even make decisions based on the instructions you give them,
Huh.
all using plain English. Like, imagine just telling your computer, hey, analyze my sales data and find out which product is selling best in the UK.
Right.
And it actually does it without you needing to know any Python or SQL or anything.
Wow, so no more hiring like these expensive developers just to tweak an algorithm.
Yeah, potentially not.
That's huge.
Yeah.
This is seriously disruptive.
Yeah.
Are there any like real-world examples of this in action?
Yeah, there are actually several. One that comes to mind is this story about an Instacart founder
Okay.
who used Wordware to build this totally new feature for their app. And get this, it only took them 4 days.
Whoa.
And they did it all by themselves, no team of engineers, just them.
Wow.
That speed and agility is a big part of why people are excited about Wordware.
4 days. That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see why investors are throwing money at them. Do you have any other examples of how companies are using Wordware?
Yeah, absolutely. There's this company called Metadata.
Okay.
And they're using Wordware to build these AI agents that optimize their advertising spend. So like these agents go through tons of data. They actually write their own code to query different databases.
Wow.
And then they generate a whole report on like the best way to allocate their budget. And it all happens in under a minute.
That's incredible. Talk about efficiency.
Yeah.
But how are they managing to compete with these giants like Microsoft who are also pouring tons of resources into AI development?
So Wordware's strategy is all about moving fast and taking risks.
Okay.
They're betting that their agility will let them kind of outmaneuver the big guys.
Right.
Because, in the world of AI, things move so fast that speed can be a huge advantage.
Yeah, it's like a classic David versus Goliath situation.
Exactly.
Love an underdog story.
Yeah.
But with all this ease of use, how powerful can these AI agents built on Wordware actually be? Can they really handle complex tasks?
So that's where Wordware gets really interesting. They've actually built in some core programming concepts into their platform.
Huh.
And this is to avoid what's called the graduation problem,
Okay.
meaning users can start with something simple and then gradually add complexity to their AI agents without hitting a wall and having to switch to traditional coding.
So they're balancing accessibility with the power to build some pretty sophisticated systems.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
Sounds like a tightrope walk.
It is, but if they pull it off, it could really change the whole tech landscape.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where anyone, no matter their technical background, could harness the power of AI.
That's a mind-blowing thought. So where is Wordware headed next? What are their plans for the future?
Well, one of their big goals is to open up the platform to individual users, not just companies.
Oh, wow.
They believe that this is going to unleash a ton of creativity and innovation because people will be able to use AI to automate their own personal workflows and solve everyday problems.
So like having your own AI assistant to manage your schedule, handle your finances, maybe even help you learn a new language.
Exactly. They're also really focused on building a unique company culture, attracting top talent, and just pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI. It's clear they have really ambitious goals.
Yeah, and it'll be fascinating to see how they evolve. This is all incredibly exciting, but is it all just hype? Could Wordware really revolutionize AI development and make it accessible to everyone?
That's the million-dollar question. The potential is definitely there, but only time will tell if they can actually deliver on their promises. But one thing's for sure, they've got everyone in the tech world talking.
All right, so we've covered what Wordware is, how it works, and why it's causing such a stir. Now, let's dive into the potential impact of this AI for everyone, vision on businesses, individuals, and maybe even the world.
Let's do it. So imagine a world where like even the smallest businesses, those mom and pop shops on Main Street, can use AI to compete with like the big corporations.
Yeah, that's a really cool thought because right now, building custom AI solutions is so expensive, smaller companies just can't afford it.
Right.
Wordware could really level the playing field and give them access to tools that only these huge companies with tons of money have.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about helping existing businesses either.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, think about all the people out there with amazing ideas, people who want to start their own businesses, but they just don't have the technical skills to build what they're imagining.
Yeah.
Wordware takes away that barrier. It lets them build AI-powered solutions without needing to learn how to code.
That's amazing. It opens up so many possibilities for entrepreneurs and innovators.
Yeah.
What about, like, on a personal level? How could Wordware change the way we live and work?
Well, imagine being able to create your own AI agents to handle all those little annoying tasks that eat up all your time.
Right.
Your AI could manage your calendar, sort through your emails, even help you learn something new, whatever you need.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed by our never-ending to-do lists, we could just delegate those tasks to our AI assistants.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing. But are there any downsides, any risks we should be thinking about?
Well, there are always risks with new technology. One concern is that all this automation could lead to job losses in certain sectors, as AI becomes capable of doing work that humans currently do.
Yeah, that's the classic fear of robots taking over our jobs.
Right.
But if you look back in history, technological advancements always create new jobs while they displace others.
That's true.
The important thing is to adapt and be ready for those shifts in the job market.
Absolutely. It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about learning to work with it.
Yeah.
Embracing lifelong learning and developing those skills that work well alongside AI instead of competing with it, that's going to be crucial in the coming years.
Like what kind of skills?
Well, think about things like data analysis, AI, ethics, prompt engineering. Those are all areas where human expertise is going to be really valuable.
So basically staying ahead of the curve and making sure we have the skills to thrive in a world that's increasingly powered by AI.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Okay, let's go back to Wordware for a minute. What's their strategy for navigating this crazy competitive landscape they're up against some really massive companies?
Well, they're going all in on their speed and agility. They think they can outmaneuver those tech giants.
Oh, okay.
They're not afraid to take risks and change things up quickly, which is super important in a field where innovation is happening so fast.
It's like that David versus Goliath battle all over again. I'm always rooting for the underdog.
Me too.
So do you think they have a chance? Do they really have what it takes to shake up the industry?
It's hard to say for sure, but they do have a few things going for them.
Yeah, like what? What?
They've got a really talented team, they have a clear vision, and they're operating in a market that's growing like crazy.
That's true.
Ultimately, their success will depend on how well they execute their strategy and if they can stay ahead of everyone else in terms of innovation.
So they need to keep pushing the limits of what's possible while also making sure their platform is easy to use and accessible.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance.
It really is. But if they pull it off, they could totally change the game when it comes to AI development, making it something anyone can do.
Imagine that.
Okay, let's talk about their plans for the future. You mentioned earlier that they want to make their platform available to everyone, not just businesses.
Yeah, that's one of their main goals.
What do they hope to achieve with that?
They think it'll lead to a huge explosion of creativity and problem solving
How so?
because people will be able to use AI to improve their everyday lives and do things they're passionate about.
It's like giving everyone the power to build their own AI solutions, whatever they can imagine.
Exactly. It's a pretty radical idea, but the potential is incredible.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so apart from making their platform available to everyone, what else are they focused on?
They're also constantly improving the platform, adding new features, making it more powerful. They're committed to innovation and they're always listening to user feedback to make their product better and more intuitive.
They're not just sitting back and relaxing, that's for sure.
Nope. They know they have to keep moving forward to stay competitive.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture. Where do you see AI going in the next 5 to 10 years? What are the big trends that are going to shape this field?
That's a great question. AI is changing so quickly, it's tough to predict exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
But one thing is clear, AI is going to become even more integrated into our lives in ways we might not even realize.
You mean like those algorithms that recommend products to us or tell us the fastest way home?
Yeah, exactly. AI working behind the scenes to make things a bit easier.
Right.
But it goes way beyond that. We're seeing huge advancements in areas like personalized medicine, where AI is helping doctors create custom treatments for individual patients.
Wow.
And in robotics, where AI is powering machines that can do really complex tasks on their own.
So like self-driving cars, robot surgeons, even AI tutors. It sounds like we're entering a whole new era.
I think so.
But with all this progress, there are bound to be challenges. What are some of the biggest hurdles we need to overcome to make sure AI benefits everyone?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is making sure AI is developed and used ethically and responsibly.
Okay.
As AI systems get more powerful and independent, it's crucial to have clear guidelines and safeguards in place to prevent any negative consequences and misuse.
So making sure AI aligns with human values and doesn't pose a threat to us.
Exactly. It's a really important topic that we need to be discussing.
I agree. We need to be proactive about addressing these challenges to make sure AI is a force for good in the world.
Absolutely. And that means having open conversations and collaborations between researchers, policymakers, and the public so everyone has a voice in shaping the future of AI.
Collaboration and open dialogue. That's key.
Wow.
It's not just about the technology itself, but about how we decide to use it and what kind of future we want to create with it.
Exactly. AI has the potential to solve some of humanity's biggest problems, but it's up to us to guide its development and make sure it's used to benefit society as a whole.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we'll look at some real-world examples of how AI is already changing different industries, and we'll talk about what steps individuals can take to prepare for this future where AI is everywhere, so stay tuned. All right, so we're back, and I want to talk about how AI is impacting specific industries. I'm really interested in healthcare. It seems like AI is going to totally revolutionize everything from diagnosing illnesses to treating them.
Yeah, definitely. I think healthcare is one of the areas where we're seeing the biggest impact already. One really cool example is medical imaging.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, you know how doctors use things like X-rays and CT scans and MRIs to see what's going on inside the body?
Yeah.
Well, AI algorithms can actually analyze those scans and detect tiny abnormalities that a human doctor might miss.
Wow.
This means that diagnoses can be made earlier and more accurately, which obviously is super important for getting the right treatment.
It's like having this AI assistant working alongside the doctor to make sure nothing gets overlooked.
Exactly.
Are there other areas in healthcare where AI is making a difference?
Oh, tons of them. For example, AI is being used to develop personalized treatment plans.
Interesting. What does that mean?
So, by looking at a patient's medical history, their genetic information, their lifestyle, all these different factors, AI can help doctors create a treatment plan that's tailored specifically to that individual.
So it's like custom-made medicine.
Yeah, you could think of it that way. It's really exciting because it means that treatments can be much more effective and we can move away from that kind of one-size-fits-all approach.
It's incredible. What about other industries? Where else are we seeing AI make a big impact?
Well, finance is another big one.
Okay, in what way?
AI is being used to detect fraudulent transactions, like credit card fraud and things like that.
Right.
It can also assess credit risk and even provide personalized financial advice.
Wow, so AI is helping us manage our money
Right.
and protect us from scams.
Yeah, and a lot of banks are now using AI-powered chatbots for customer support, so you might actually be interacting with an AI without even realizing it.
It's like having a virtual financial advisor available 24/7.
Exactly.
What about retail? I know AI is playing a big role in how we shop these days.
Oh, absolutely. AI is being used to personalize shopping recommendations, optimize pricing, and even predict future trends.
I've definitely noticed those personalized recommendations. Sometimes it feels like those websites know me better than I know myself.
Yeah, the algorithms are getting pretty good at figuring out what we like.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI is being used today, but what about the future? Where do you see this technology going in the next few years?
Well, AI is moving so fast, it's hard to say for sure, but I think we're going to see AI integrated into more and more aspects of our lives, often in ways that we don't even really notice.
It's like AI is becoming this invisible force that's optimizing everything around us.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
But what about the impact on jobs? A lot of people are worried that AI will replace human workers. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a valid concern, and it's something we need to be thinking about carefully. While it's true that AI will automate certain tasks and maybe even some entire jobs, it'll also create new jobs in areas like AI development data analysis, and AI ethics.
So it's not necessarily about AI taking over, but about humans and AI working together.
Exactly. And the key is to be adaptable and embrace lifelong learning by developing skills that complement AI. We can make sure we're prepared for the changes that are coming.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we should be excited about the possibilities and focus on learning how to work with it.
I think so.
That's great advice. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they navigate this exciting but also rapidly changing world of AI?
I would say remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to make sure it's used ethically and responsibly, and that it benefits everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. A huge thank you to our expert for this amazing deep dive into the world of AI.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us. We'll be sure to include all the resources we mentioned in the show notes. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.